The Virginia Horse Industry Board, Southwest Virginia Agricultural Association, and the Virginia Christmas Tree Growers Association are proud sponsors of Virginia farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. Large or small, Virginia farmers work year-round to help put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.
Polaris, offering its hardest working, smoothest riding off-road side-by-sides, featuring the value-minded new Ranger 800 midsize, hunt, farm, or trail. Polaris has the Ranger side-by-side you want at Polaris.com.
Brought to you by Farm Family, Life, Auto, Business, Farm. Meet Jim Gray, farmer's son, agribusiness owner, insurance agent. Learn more about his story at farmfamilypeople.com. Farm Family, the people you know. Hi everybody, welcome to Virginia Farming. I'm Amy Rocher. Biochar is an organic charcoal that's being used as a soil additive in Asia and Europe, and they're seeing some amazing results. We'll learn more about the process when Erich Knight, a biochar specialist, joins us on Ag Insights. Then we'll talk about winter pruning when we go in the garden. Plus we'll have the Ag Calendar and a Minute in the Field video. All this plus the Ag News of the Week on this edition of Virginia Farming. Virginia's 4-H Skillathon team placed first at the National 4-H Livestock Skillathon contest held November 14th during the North American International Livestock Exposition in Louisville, Kentucky. The Virginia team placed first in identification, first in quality assurance, and fifth in evaluation. Their scores beat 18 other teams to make them the overall national champions. The winning team included Ben Good of Mount Sidney, Shannon Garber of Mount Sidney, John Klaus of Blacksburg, Madison Slavin of Weir's Cave, Jessica Huff of Grottos, and team coach Eric Stogdale of Stanton. Skillathon is a knowledge-based competition in meat and animal sciences. The members had to answer questions, perform tasks, and justify their decisions to the judges. The contest was conducted and judged by 4-H extension agents from different states. Congratulations to the Virginia 4-H Skillathon team. Well, there probably won't be much snow across the U.S. this winter, as much of the nation looks to a mild, dry winter. The USDA's Bob Ellison has more.
Drought conditions could persist and possibly expand if, as expected, a mild and dry winter affects most of the nation. U.S. Department of Agriculture meteorologist Brad Rippey says atmospheric conditions could make this winter a lot like last year's.
If we see, like last winter, a very active jet stream across the North Atlantic, that could take a lot of that Pacific energy and skirt it right across Canada and out across the Atlantic without really affecting the United States.
And a mild, dry winter means little or no relief for large parts of the nation affected by drought.
We still have nearly 2/3 of the contiguous U.S. in drought, about 62 to 63% at this time, with the core drought areas covering the plains, parts of the western Corn Belt, and into the southwest. The greatest risk for dry conditions and mild conditions during the winter months would be across the southern tier of the country, particularly from Southern California to the southern plains. Those areas are at great risk for drought intensification or expansion during the winter months. The lower part of the southeast, especially from parts of Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, northward into Virginia, those areas have been missing out on the moisture and may continue to do so as we head through the winter months.
Rippey says the northwest and northern tier of the nation have the best chance at a snowy winter.
Hopefully, if we continue this active storm track across the northwest, those areas should see some abundant snowfall. So really across the northern tier, I think that's our best opportunity to see some winter drought relief.
For the U.S. Department of Agriculture, I'm Bob Ellison.
Thank you, Bob. The USDA recently announced that the number of winter farmers markets has increased by 52% from 2011. Winter markets now account for roughly 24% of the farmers markets listed in their directory. Virginia is among the top 10 states for winter farmers markets with 53 markets. Tony Banks, a commodity marketing specialist for Virginia Farm Bureau Federation, said winter farmers markets allow operators to offer more opportunity for consumers to purchase local, fresh, and processed foods. Many small and mid-sized farms have expanded their growing seasons while keeping overhead costs down by using cost-effective options such as high tunnels and eco-friendly greenhouse energy. Banks said producers are taking advantage of these technologies, so it makes sense that the farmers market season is expanding in many localities. To find a winter's farmer market near you, visit virginiagrown.com. In the business of raising cattle, improving quality benefits producers and the entire market. Cindy Campbell reports.
I've always said what you want to do is whenever you produce anything is create a product that everybody wants if they could afford it.
In the beef business, that means setting their sights on highly marbled beef. But the good must keep getting better.
What we've been saying, and we believe it very strongly, is this whole market has changed dramatically away from the old commodity, what percent choice do your cattle bring, to what percent upper two-thirds CAB quality cattle, or program cattle as we refer to them at our place. And so our goal, what one time was 80% choice or higher, is now can we beat 50% program cattle or certified Angus beef cattle and higher, because that's where the majority of the premiums are.
Feeders recognize that and procure cattle accordingly. Better than average is the mantra.
Definitely the bar's been raised, and that's mainly due to, the premiums that are paid, whether it's the CAB premiums, a premium for choice. People are looking, for the better cattle, and it's just like any other thing. If you can stay in the same tracks and sit still, or you can progress and get better. And there's, sadly to say, there's some people that have did the same thing that they did for 20 years. And they're the ones that are sitting there. But the progressive people that have kept up on genetics, tried to make their cattle better, more efficient, those are the ones we look for, and those are the ones we like to feed.
The price difference between choice and select beef, or the choice select spread, recently eclipsed $20. These feeders say that kind of signal should speak volumes to their calf suppliers. I'm Cindy Campbell.
Thank you, Cindy. Biochar has gotten the attention of large companies such as DuPont and BP as an alternative fuel source. Erich Knight is a biochar specialist, and he joins us today to talk about how biochar can be used as a soil and feed additive. That's coming up on Ag Insights. Biochar is a name for charcoal when it's used for particular purposes, especially as a soil amendment. It's being used in other countries, and they've seen enhanced fertility and soil water retention. It's also been tested as a feed additive with very positive results. Joining me today is Erich Knight. He's a biochar specialist. And Erich, welcome to Virginia Farming.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Thank you so much for being here. This is such an exciting topic, and it's something that is new to me. Before we get into that, tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are and what you do.
All right. I'm a ornamental gardener in the Shenandoah Valley for the last 32 years. About 6, maybe a little more years ago, I started blogging on this subject. I had done a bunch of telephone consultations for alternative energy, and on one of the many science forums I visit, I saw an interesting link about terra preta soils. And these are soils in the Amazon River Basin that are up to 6 foot deep, have layers of charcoal all the way down, totally black, with pottery shards all through these horizons. It's a man-made soil. And this soil technology was lost when the Columbian Exchange happened, and the civilization in the Amazon died off due to disease. And they didn't do a slash and burn of the forest to make these thick charcoal soils, but they did some sort of slash and char. And these soils today are as fertile as they were 400 years ago when these fields were abandoned. So the modern version of that is taking pyrolytic reactors, gasification units, and these are closed-loop reactors where only the hydrocarbons come off the biomass. The elemental plant cell carbon is locked into a charcoal, and that is used in the soil to increase fertility, as you said, water retention, and has so many other applications that we can't touch on them all today.
Right, right. Well, I think it's really interesting that everything in these biochar pellets, it is all completely organic.
Yes.
And then it's condensed, and they're created. Now, I want to get a little bit in how these biochar pellets are made. They're made using little or no oxygen in the burning process.
Yes.
Is that correct?
It's a non-combustion technology in the sense that, again, you just heat the biomass, the hydrocarbons, oils and tars get liberated. Those form a biofuel, while the elemental structure of the plant cell walls, all those nooks and crannies, all that surface area is locked into the char. That surface area mixed into the soil increases the surface area of the soil and is a home for what I term all the wee beasties of the soil. Right. Microbes like to sit down when they eat, just like humans. And when you provide this sort of table for them, their efficiency increases, and they proliferate. Having all these fungal threads through the soil, through the char, provides an interstate highway for moisture and nutrients to travel to the plant.
When you say burn the biomass, now one gentleman I saw was burning like a wood pellet, almost the same wood pellets you would burn in a wood stove. What are the other elements that you can burn?
This technology scales from big industrial refineries all the way down to little gasifying cook stoves used in the third world to replace 3 rocks in a pot.
Right.
Because there are no particles, there's no soot that comes off these gasification stoves that are 41% more efficient. That's 41% less fuel. And they can burn any fuel, not just wood, but manure and grasses. So Secretary Clinton got on board about a year ago with the Global Initiative for Clean Stoves, 100 million of these gasification stoves to the third world. The combined health effects, if you could replace that scale, all the 3 rocks in a pot in Africa would be equal to the elimination of AIDS and malaria combined.
Wow.
Because women and children die of emphysema and black lung at 35, 40 years old.
So it's really using what you have. You don't have to go out and buy extra things to create the biochar.
The cascading
effect. It's a big sustainability.
But that's at the small scale, these camp stoves, what you might remember from Cub Scouts or Boy Scouts as hobo stoves. Just like a match. You strike a match, it burns down. The flame of the match protects the wood from being turned to ash. You blow it out and you have charcoal left on that match. These stoves do the same thing. They actually produce charcoal while cooking your food because it only burns the gases. It only burns the methane and hydrogen that come off the biomass. So that's why it's a non-combustion technology, because the carbon in the biomass is never combusted.
Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about the results they're seeing as far as fertility and soil and the increase in crops. I know one image I saw, they had, the corn crop without the biochar here, the one with was here, so it was a really big night and day difference.
Well, as I said, about 6 years ago I started blogging. I found out that the Australians and the Europeans and certainly the Japanese are 10, 15 years ahead of us in these technologies. Australia has a carbon farming initiative as part of their greenhouse gas program. So in 2009, I worked with the Rodale Institute up in Pennsylvania and did field trials in McGahkiesville. That's probably the difference you saw in the corn crop. Basically, the higher the metabolism of the soil, the greater the benefit. In tropical soils, an average increase in yield across many, many trials in Australia, in Africa and such, you get 50 to 60% increase in yield for the same amount of fertilizer, everything being equal. Here in the temperate soils, we get about 20, 25%. The research in Canada in really sort of cold soils is 15%, but mostly around 10%. So the greater the metabolic rate of the soil, the greater the turnover of the microbes, you get a greater benefit from biochar soil amendment.
Okay. Now, we're running out of time, but the one thing I wanted to touch on, I mentioned it in the introduction, is using it as a feed additive. Tell me how they do that and what some of the results they're seeing with that.
Well, you can go to the Sonoma Biochar Conference. Just Google that and read my opening presentation. The Europeans take 1% biochar, add it to their silage, feed the silage through their cattle, scrape up the cattle barn manure, add 10% more biochar to that manure and compost it in windrows. Every step of this process increases value. They normally compost, you haul the nitrogen to it, the wee beasties in the compost eat that nitrogen, convert the biomass to humus, which is great stuff, but there's no nitrogen in that compost. With char in the composting process, you retain 50 to 75% of the nitrogen that's normally lost.
That's amazing.
And once it's on the field, locked into char, it is 10 to 20 times less available to leach into the water system. So your nitrogen stays on the field in a plant available organic form with that humus and compost, and you've not only eliminated the odor of manure on the farm in these farms in Switzerland and Germany, but they've cured chronic botulism in cattle. The in vivo studies show 25% better feed conversion and a 40% reduction in methane belching.
Wow.
So it's now,
those are big
American
numbers.
farmers don't get paid for reducing methane in their cattle.
Right.
European farmers do.
Right.
Australian farmers do. And so this, in Japan, they use biochar to feed in their aquaculture. And again, look at my presentation. The control shrimp, 3 inches. The biochar shrimp, 6 inches. Clams,
and it's all natural.
eels. It's all very natural.
It's so exciting to learn about this. Well, what's new to us is certainly new to me, and I know that there is a farm here in the Shenandoah Valley that's working on it.
Yes, there's
and,
several farms.
I want to let our viewers know that we will definitely be following up with some stories about this biochar, the use in soil as well as feed. So, Erich, thank you so much for being here. We really do appreciate it.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity.
We'll be right back. Winter may not seem like the best time for gardening, but winter pruning can lead to healthier plants. Let's join Mark Viette in the garden.
Winter pruning allows you to prune a lot of your deciduous trees. These are trees that lose their leaves, you know, like oak trees and maple trees and some of your smaller shrubs. Anything that is diseased or damaged, remember, can be pruned pretty much throughout the whole year. But what we're going to focus on also is what type of pruning you can do throughout the winter months. And one of those is thinning out your tree. You know, when there's leaves on a tree, it's really hard to see which branches to remove and which branches to leave. But when all the leaves fall down to the ground, you can pretty much look throughout the whole tree and find your branches you want to eliminate. You know, some people take a little spray can and spray the ones they want to take. Sometimes I even take a little ribbon and tie it on a branch I want to take. But I walk around the tree again and again to really evaluate the tree, because remember, once you've pruned a branch, it's gone. Now, one of the things you do need to keep in mind on your branches is there are certain points where the branch attaches to the stem where they can be removed. And that point is a natural branch collar. When you're pruning your branches, you don't want to prune inside that natural branch collar, or you don't really want to leave stubs or prune outside that natural branch collar. And here is a great example of a natural branch collar, which we'll go ahead and prune. To relieve the pressure on the branch, if the branch is small, just take a hand shears and you can go through just like that and prune, so that reduces the weight. It is important when you start pruning that you notch underneath so you don't strip down the bark. And I'm cutting right outside the branch collar, and it's really quick and easy. And that's it. It's that simple. Improper pruning and leaving stubs like you see here puts the plant in a disadvantaged state. It really can't heal from this type of damage. And you'll sometimes notice even splitting down the bark. But what you want to do is come back and cut to a bud or to a branch. Always, it's important to notch underneath so you don't strip the bark down the tree, and then come in from the top and right outside that branch collar, just like this, just prune, a nice smooth prune like this, and then your branch will heal over time, and then your tree will live many more years. You notice that I'm standing on the ground and I'm not standing on the ladder. A lot of accidents happen with people up on ladders trying to prune their tree. It's important at that point, when you need to get up in a tree, hire a professional. You know, some of these large branches that are 3 or 4 inches in diameter weigh hundreds of pounds, and people standing under the tree can also be hurt by that branch falling on them. What you really want to try to accomplish is to thin out your tree and open up the center of the tree so you could throw a softball or a football through it. So just come in here, right outside the branch collars, prune the little branches with the shears, and what you'll find is the larger branches can be pruned with really good heavy-duty equipment like this. So I'm going to come in here, I'm going to prune that branch out. I want to remove that branch. I want to take this branch that's coming back out into the tree like this. This is great because you can evaluate as you prune and prune more as you look at the tree and thin it out. I really don't like to prune out any more than maybe 20% at any one point in time. I'm Mark Viette. Join me next time in the garden.
Taking a look at our ag calendar, the Virginia Club Calf Producers Winter Classic will be held January 25th through the 27th at Rockingham County Fairgrounds. This is the largest jackpot show on the East Coast. The weekend includes stock shows and sale, as well as educational clinics. More information can be found at virginiaclubcalfproducers.com. That does it for our show. Have a great week, everyone. I'm Amy Rocher for Virginia Farming.
This program's brought to you by the Virginia Farm Bureau. From apples to zucchini, Virginia farmers work hard to put food on your table. And Farm Bureau works year-round to help farmers and all Virginians. Farming, it's all good. To learn more, go to vafarmbureau.org.
Polaris, offering its hardest working, smoothest riding off-road side-by-sides, featuring the value-minded new Ranger 800 midsize, hunt, farm, or trail. Polaris has the Ranger side-by-side you want at Polaris.com.
Brought to you by Farm Family. Life, auto, business, farm. Meet Nancy Asher, stable owner, visionary, agent of change. Learn more about her story at farmfamilypeople.com. Farm Family, the people you know.